This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com.
Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zachary, and welcome to day 40 of the 2017-2018 NBA season. Let's just get into everything that we gotta get into from last night, but first a quick word from this video sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app that is a must-have for NBA fans who enjoy or want to go see games live. They let you see the view from the seat before you purchase, as well as rank the seats on a scale from 1 to 100 to make sure that you are getting the absolute best deal. Speaking of best deal, you can enter the promo code SDC to receive $20 off your first order to make it an even better deal. Download the app in the description box below. But now with that out the way, Lego. A lot of people started panicking a bit after this one. Look, the Thunder lost to the Mavericks last night, 97-81. Never really had a lead and trailed by double digits most of the game as well. And now that they have only won 1 out of their last 5 games and lost to the worst team in the Western Conference, people are legit starting to get worried about this Thunder team. Now, I will say that all the people saying that Billy Donovan isn't a good coach and all the Thunder do is ISO PG, Melo, and Russ, all that stuff, you guys are 100% right. I have said all that stuff myself, and since saying that, nothing has really changed to make me change my mind, but I wouldn't look too much into this one loss from last night either, and that is because it was a fumes game for OKC. I knew heading into this one that even though it was against Dallas, if they did somehow manage to pull off a win, it would be a tough one. And right when the game started, I knew OKC had no chance at all to win this game. This was the Thunder's 3rd game in 4 nights. They played Golden State Wednesday, had Thursday off just like every other team, played Detroit Friday, and then of course Dallas last night. 3 and 4s are the hardest games for any team to play just because your players are completely gassed at that point. Watching OKC yesterday was like watching my Pistons trying to play the Cavs on Monday when they were in the same situation. I mean, Paul George was 1 of 12 from the field for 2 points in 40 minutes last night. I get that players have off nights, but 1 of 12 shooting in 40 minutes for Paul George, he had no legs, the man was gassed. Which once again leads me to question the coaching of this Thunder team. I mean, why on earth was he getting so many minutes last night when he wasn't able to do anything? That just doesn't make sense. Anyways though, because of the fatigue that probably played a part in last night's loss, I don't think we should overreact to it. All that being said, they still do need to get a competent coach up on the sidelines because, like I said, Billy Donovan is just pure trash. And then the ball also needs to start moving as well. That's enough of this isolation stuff. It clearly isn't working. So why do you keep trying to do it like it's going to work? It's not working. Try something, anything else. Because it's starting to get to the point where it's like, yeah, they're a new team and all this other stuff. Of course, they got Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. They need time to gel. But we are 19 games into the season so far, and they look like the same Thunder team that we saw in the first game of the season. They haven't improved, they haven't been doing anything different, so it's starting to get kind of concerning. After missing his last game against the Suns with a sore knee, Giannis was back for the Bucks last night. Donovan Mitchell was extremely happy that Giannis was able to suit up for the game last night too, as he said that he has a lot of respect for Giannis as a player after the game. All respect aside though, that didn't stop Mitchell and the Jazz from getting the double-digit 121-108 win over Milwaukee, and this win just shows the power of the 3-ball because the Bucks shot pretty respectable, 53% from the field, but only made 8 triples compared to the Jazz, on the other hand, who aren't necessarily known for being the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA, still hit 18 of their 32 triple attempts last night, and Donovan Mitchell was responsible for 6 of them as he hit 6 threes and finished with 24 points on the night. And all those triples raining down on the Bucks started to cause some rifts on the team during the game, as during a timeout, Giannis had to be restrained by his teammate from going at an assistant coach of the Bucks. I don't even think I've seen Giannis get mad before, let alone have this type of reaction towards a teammate or a staff member. And I know if I'm a Bucks fan that I'm keeping tabs on that particular assistant coach. That guy is most likely more than replaceable. If he and Giannis keep having problems, then he gotta go. Giannis had 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists for Milwaukee last night. Victor Oladipo missed this game with a bruised right knee, so finding the offense they were going to miss out on this game from Depot was going to be a tough task for Indy, especially since they're going up against the league-leading Boston Celtics and also one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. That being said, In the first half, they were able to keep Boston at bay while hitting just enough shots to take the lead 54-45 at the break, and that was despite Kyrie Irving breaking Darren Collins' ankles, neck, back, and left big toe with a crossover, and then proceeding to cross him over some more while his body laid motionless on the court. The level of disrespect that Kyrie Irving had to cross over a dead man like that was just crazy. But like I said, despite that, things were going great for Indy in the first half. That all changed real quick in the third quarter though, as Boston started to play some of that defense that helped them to this record they have now, as well as their offense started to click as well, as they outscored the Indiana Pacers 37-16 in the third on their way to get the 108-98 win. Irving with 25 points on the night, while Horford also chipped in 21. No Porzingis and no Cantor for the Knicks, and they still had a 22-point lead over the Rockets. Key word there though, had. And it wasn't for long. Pretty much as soon as the Rockets went down that big in the first quarter, they woke up. And when they woke up, you could already tell what the outcome of this game was going to be. I do gotta give credit where credit is due though. You guys remember over the summer how much Michael Beasley was talking about him being a walking bucket, and the Knicks were going to be so good because they were going to have 4 guys that could get you 20 points per game, himself included. Well, Beasley hasn't been able to see the floor much so far this season to back up his walking bucket claim, but with the Knicks low on options last night, he got onto the floor and got a decent amount of time on the floor too. And for the most part, he was pretty close to a walking bucket. 30 points on 14 of 23 shooting. Man can still score, but it's just everything else that he lacks in his game. And after trailing by 22 in the first quarter, the Rockets came back, destroying the Knicks 37-13 in the third quarter to get the 117-102 win behind James Harden and his 37 points and 10 assists, while CP3 did have an off night shooting the ball but was still effective with 13 assists on the night. And this Rockets team just keeps winning. KD is still out for the Warriors, and Steve Kerr said yesterday that he wishes he didn't even let KD play against the Thunder early this week, because now the Warriors had to be really careful with him so it doesn't get worse. But I ain't worried. You ain't worried. KD will be just fine. They're only resting him because they know they do not need him to beat teams out here. If he was really that hurt, then he wouldn't have played against the Thunder. It's as simple as that. Like I said though, the Warriors just know that they don't need KD, so why not just rest him to let him get to 100% again. The Warriors beat the Pelicans last night, even though the Pelicans had a good first quarter where they led 31-17, but the Warriors still got the 110-95 win behind Curry and Thompson combining for 51 points on the night. Curry though had to get his 27 points the hard way as he missed his first 10 shots from the field. Look, if I'm playing against him though and that happens and he keeps shooting, I would kind of start to get nervous, because you know that he's going to start making them at some point, and when he does, you are in trouble. He finished shooting 9 of 25 from the field after his 0 of 10 start. I'm pulling all faith in stock I had for the Magic early on the season now. I wanted to give them a chance to bounce back from this rough patch, but they have just fully went back to being the Magic that we have been used to seeing for the past few years now. They lost to the Ben Simmons-less Philadelphia 76ers last night, 130-111. I guess though that this is still a really good sign for the Sixers fans. They are just a legit good team. They have legit good players, and it's not just Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid carrying them to these wins. I mean, with Simmons out, it wasn't even just because of Embiid that they got the win. Dario Saric, JJ Redick, and TJ McConnell all stepped up big time for Philly last night, especially McConnell. He had 15 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. If you didn't look at the name and just look at the stats, you would have thought that it was Ben Simmons who put up those numbers. Playoffs confirmed for Philly. Greg Popovich is the type of coach to make an excuse for the other team as to why they lost instead of saying just that the Spurs won. The Spurs wrecked Charlotte last night, and according to Popovich, it wasn't even a fair game.
We caught a break. That was a very difficult trip for the Hornets. I mean, it's like basically unfair. I mean, to get back after being in Cleveland, getting back that late and having to play, and play a 7 o'clock game, that's a very difficult turnaround. All of us hate that particular deal. I mean, we all have to go through it, but so we caught a break tonight.
He's right though. Every team does have games that they automatically lose just because of the schedule. This was one of those types of losses for Charlotte, 106-86. The Hornets looked like they were just ready to accept this loss and go home last night. They only had 29 points at halftime, 29 at the half. Yeah, Aldridge and Gasol both had 17 for the Spurs. Just like every team has games scheduled that are automatic losses, every team also has games scheduled that are automatic wins as well. Hawks, Kings, Bulls, sometimes Mavericks, all those games should be automatic wins for other teams this year. And it was for the Raptors last night, 112-78 over the Hawks. But I just want to know, since when did Kyle Lowry become such a good rebounder? He had 13 last night and is averaging over 6 a game so far this year. It was close, but now you can make that 2 wins in a row for the Clippers thanks to Blake Griffin hitting his second game winning shot of the season so far. Griffin nailed the 10-foot jumper with 3 seconds to go in the game to give LA the 97-95 lead and the 97-95 win over Sacramento. And after Buddy Hield had made back-to-back threes to tie the game up at 95, his final shot at the buzzer to tie the game was, let's just say, a bit off. Griffin with 33 points, while Hield had 27 off the bench for Sacramento. The Wizards announced yesterday that they will be without John Wall for the next 2 weeks, as he had to have fluid drained from his knees yesterday, and just saying that makes me cringe. So it's going to be a rough couple of weeks for any Wizards fans out there. They lost to the Blazers yesterday, but they did put up a good fight until the fourth quarter, when they blew a pretty large lead and lost 108-105. Lillard and McCollum combined for 54. That wraps up all the action from last night, though. You guys can go vote for the player of the day by following the link down in the description box below. Just remember that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, you guys selected LeBron James and his 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 13 assists as your player of the day. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more daily NBA news and highlights. But until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!